Mercedes Mone is opening up about her future plans, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out some canceled plans for Rhea Ripley, Randy Orton rumors, and more. Let's start things off with Mercedes Mone. Mercedes is doing her thing in other promotions across the world, but there's still a lot of uncertainty behind the whole story of her WWE departure and if she was close to making a return deal with WWE. Mercedes recently spoke with Planet Comic-Con Kansas City and spoke about the real story about her WWE departure. She had this to say, quote, "First of all, nobody knows the story. You don't know the story. You're reading whatever you want to read and believing whatever you want to believe. Nobody knows the story because I haven't said anything and I'm not going to say anything because that's just the classy boss that I am, the CEO." End quote. So according to Mercedes, everything that's been online about her and Naomi's WWE departures is not exactly the truth, and she's never going to reveal the story either. Mercedes also spoke on who she would like to compete with if she ever returned to WWE one day, and had this to say about who's on that radar for her. Quote, "I really like Zoey Stark in NXT. She is super talented and amazing. She is ready to blast off and shine, and given the opportunity, I would love to see her on Raw or Smackdown. Of course, my girl Bayley, I'm not done with her yet. I love her. I think she's amazing." End quote. So Mercedes already said that her answer on returning to WWE was never say never, and she already has her eyes on some plans and opponents that would interest her. She has her eyes on NXT's Zoey Stark, and she hasn't forgotten about Bayley at all. Mercedes and Bayley put on some of arguably the greatest storylines and matches in recent WWE history. So seeing them share a ring again down the line will be something that every fan will strongly appreciate. So that's something major to look forward to there if they do ever meet again in the future. Randy Orton is another big name that's been popping up amongst the headlines in recent weeks. Randy Orton went down in mid-2022 with what was reported to be a serious back injury that very well could have ended his career if he stayed competing in 2022. But thankfully, he took the time off and had this major procedure done on his back. Now the initial world was that it'll be at least a few years before Randy Orton could be cleared to compete, and that's what everyone was sticking to. But that narrative could be changing. Randy Orton's name has been popping up in reports recently about how there's been rumblings of his name going on backstage. This is leading many to wonder if Randy Orton's return could be a lot closer than everyone was initially thinking. The narrative for Randy Orton's return went from possibly 2 to 3 years of injury recovery to his return now being rumored for sometime in mid to late 2023. Some fans are even throwing around the idea of Randy Orton and Riddle returning together as a big unexpected surprise. Riddle was written off back in December, and Randy Orton has been gone since May 2022. So what better way for both of them to have massive return than to be returning together to reform Team RK Bro? And maybe they can even pick up from where they last left off at. Maybe they return as a tag team, have a little run, and we see tension start to rise amongst the two of them. Maybe Randy Orton turns, or maybe it's Riddle that turns, and we finally see that breakup story between Team RK Bro that was heavily rumored to take place in 2022. A lot of fans were waiting for that feud between Riddle and Randy Orton, so fans would definitely appreciate it if they still got the chance to see it. And once Team RK Bro is split, sky's the limit again, and there'll be so many great feuds and matches for Randy Orton to have. If Roman Reigns is still the champion by the time Randy Orton returns, that'll be another top-of-the-line matchup to have right there. Roman Reigns has never faced Randy Orton one-on-one for the Universal title since his reign began in summer 2020. So it'll be a fresh, never-before-seen matchup for this 3-year-long title reign. That's another match that was reportedly scheduled for 2022, but never happened due to the injury to Randy Orton. So that'll be a great story, and you can argue that the seeds are already planted for the matchup between Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. Randy Orton was written off of WWE television in mid-2022 after a post-match attack from Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. So it only makes sense for Randy Orton to come back and seek revenge on the individuals that were responsible for him missing so much time away from the ring within the storyline world. So that'll be a great way to connect Randy Orton's last WWE appearance from 2022 and connect it to a main current day world title feud and match. And if Cody Rhodes ends up being the champion by the time Randy Orton comes back, there's another legendary story to dive into there. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton go way back to their days as part of the Legacy faction together, where Randy Orton was the proven WWE superstar, veteran, and former world champion, all while Cody Rhodes was the young rookie, second-generation superstar that was trying to follow in Randy's steps. So for that story to come full circle all these years later to where Cody Rhodes has proven himself, he did become world champion, but now he's got to defend it against his old mentor, Randy Orton. That's another magical story that could be coming together there as well. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title, with all their history together and their wrestling family heritage also being present, will really make this story so capable of headlining any major WWE show. So if Randy Orton's return is near, there's a lot of exciting programs for him to work with: Riddle, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and so much more. So be on the lookout for more rumblings about Randy Orton. There's also been a big update for Ronda Rousey and how she had 3 canceled WrestleMania 39 matches. The first big scheduled match was being talked about early last year, and that match was Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. WWE's alleged plan was for Ronda Rousey to face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 38, which she did, and Ronda Rousey was supposed to face Becky Lynch the following year at WrestleMania 39. But as we all know, the match was scrapped due to fan interest in the matchup not really being there, and it's coming out that Ronda had another scrap match for WrestleMania 39. It was originally going to be Ronda Rousey versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39 for the Smackdown Women's title instead of Charlotte Flair, but that was scrapped as well. Then it was also being reported that Ronda Rousey had shown a lot of interest in winning the women's tag team titles with Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania. But Ronda came down with an injury, and that also appears to be scrapped as well. So it was a rough batch of big scrap matches for Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 39. But her injury doesn't appear to be anything serious, and she's still rumored to be heavily involved with the women's tag team titles with Shayna Baszler. So even if it's after WrestleMania, Ronda and Shayna could very well end up having a successful attempt at challenging for the women's tag team titles in the near future. So we should definitely expect to see Ronda Rousey back in the tag team title scene once she's healed up. But what are your thoughts on today's stories with Mercedes Mone, Randy Orton, and Ronda Rousey? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.